Alina Habba, who you guys probably know is Donald Trump's attorney, one of his attorneys in all these lawfare cases, she believes that she has found proof that Letitia James is compromised, that Letitia James, among others, have actually been coordinating with the White House in order to prosecute and sue, essentially bankrupt Donald Trump. And here's the thing, man. I don't think that we can take the chance and dismiss something like this. I mean, can we really take the chance this is just some crazy right wing conspiracy? Do we really dismiss a thing like this? Because if something like this is true, and what is also true that we really do care about saving democracy and protecting democracy, shouldn't we get to the bottom of something like this?
What will happen is that the bond will be held effectively in escrow by the appellate division so that we can lay that case out. And what we asked them to do was prevent Miss James and this judge from moving forward with taking assets that we could never get back because the bond was so insane that nobody had ever heard of it, that the largest insurance carriers couldn't do it, wouldn't do it, unless you effectively have $1 billion in cash sitting in your bank, which is poor judgment if you are a wealthy individual. You put that money to work, just like Trump does. So, the 175 million, yeah, it's a lot of money and it's insane that we're even in this situation. However, we had to pay it so that we could be afforded some due process and have them look at what happened in that trial that I sat through for the better of 4 months.
I just don't understand how an appeals court could look at a case where, again, to restate it, but I mean, you have the bank that it would allegedly be the victim in a case like this. They're testifying on behalf of former President Trump and saying they do it all over again. Their actuaries looked over his valuations. They said they were fine. How the hell do you not throw something like that out?
Right. It's not just that. Also, Rob, we had ridiculous rulings day in, day out, gag orders. Speaking of the gag order that came out today, yeah. I was gagged. As an attorney officer of the court representing a client, I was gagged in court. Now, that's very different than Alina Habba, spokeswoman, can't go on TV. I was not only not allowed to go on TV, I couldn't speak in court and put things on a record so that I had a record for appeal on certain issues that we felt were very important.
If you still think that gag orders are all created equally or all necessary or even constitutional, I mean any of them, remember those words in that scenario right there. When you're gagged by the court, even bringing up something that is legally sound or strategically important is forbidden. I mean, you can do it, you can bring it up, but the judge is just going to strike it from the record and has the opportunity to hold you in contempt. So you don't. I mean, that's pretty remarkable stuff. And honestly, it's amazing, if you can call it that. It's frightening to watch the average leftist just soak this stuff up. They don't care about law. They don't care about justice. They definitely don't care about the Constitution. All they care is that Orange Man is bad and silence him and lock away the key. That's all they care about. It's pretty impressive programming.
So I think cases like this, where, for lack of a better word, the Trump derangement takes over and their judgment as attorneys and judges fails them, they are easier to win on an appeal than others. Yep. But it does take those judges to take off any political animus or bias and apply rule of law and the law to fact. And if they do so, Rob, I really do believe we will get this reversed.
That one's ridiculous. The Mershon case, the Alvin Bragg, Stormy Daniels case. I mean, you have a Biden donating judge, and leading the case is this guy Matthew Coangelo, who Trump talks about a lot lately, who has worked in Biden's DOJ and with Letitia James. So basically, Biden's DOJ, which we know he controls because we know that him and Merrick Garland are boys, they send up this guy to work on these state cases that aren't directly connected to the DOJ. So now everything is kind of under the DOJ's purview in one way or another. They have their people controlling these outside cases. And you know that Merrick Garland is on board with the Biden agenda. This is filthy dirty. And nobody is watching. Nobody has a problem with this.
I still can't see how any of our democracy-protecting constitutional warriors that are on the left can hear these things and not at least ask some reasonable questions. They're not even a tiny bit curious. I mean, if they had any kind of intellectual integrity, they would recognize that if the roles were reversed, if it was a Republican instead of a Democrat, whatever, if you had a Republican operative working on these cases, if you had district attorneys and prosecutors literally visiting the White House while the judges were making political donations, I'm not saying they'd actually do something about it, but they would at least be concerned. They would at least talk about it. They would at least have some questions, but they don't. And that's how you know. They have no integrity. They do not care about anything other than power. And they will all just do and believe exactly what they're told. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.